Welcome to episode 32 of the Wheelhouse.
Woo!
Why did you do that?
The magic number.
I was cheering.
Woo! 32.
32.
You haven't cheered on the other ones.
We've made it to 32. I'm Gus. I'm your host with my co-host Sterling.
Hello.
And
32.
my guest Andrew O.
That's all I am to you, a guest.
Yeah.
Tell me about yourself. Tell me about the podcast.
The podcast?
Yeah.
Well, fun fact. I was surprised you applauded then and not last episode at 31.
Why?
Episode 31 was released on August 31st.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That
What?
is something.
I know.
That's fucking nuts. We didn't record on the 31st though.
No.
So that's not nearly as interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, so host Gus, what do you want to talk about for the intro?
Can I see that little notebook real fast?
All right, there you go.
Which one?
It's at the top, under 32.
You're a pretty good guest. You bring notes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Potbelly is like Five Guys times 10. Blair Witch.
No, okay.
I don't understand these notes, Andrew. You can't
Last Friday, usually I go to Chick-fil-A in the morning as a little celebration because it's Friday. And I go there at like 8:30, get some of my Chick-fil-A stuff, go to check it out and buy it. And trying to swipe my card, get that use the flex dollars. And then the lady is like, yeah, for some reason the flex dollar's not working. And then she gives me my card back and says, it's not working, but you can go ahead. So I got free Chick-fil-A on Friday, which is nice.
Nice.
I go to the varsity area, which is like a cafeteria, sit down, and there's a group of sorority girls at a table, and they're eating too. And for some reason, they're talking about different restaurants, and one of them brings up Potbelly.
Love Potbelly.
Yeah. And then one girl goes, man, Potbelly is like Five Guys times 10 times 10.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
There's so much about this statement
Yeah,
that is problematic.
I don't understand.
So first off, Potbelly and Five Guys, not a great
Five
comparison.
Guys is a burger restaurant.
Five Guys is a burger place. Potbelly is a sandwich shop.
Second, you can't compare restaurants with math. Just multiplying makes them better.
times 10 times 10.
And the fact that it's not times 100.
yeah.
Times 10. Times 10.
So, yeah. So
That's like a million.
That's a lot of guys.
I know. Yeah.
I thought that free Chick-fil-A was the highlight of my day, but no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Wow.
That.
Just keeps going
Man.
out from there.
Yeah. But Sterling had some highlights this past week.
Oh, in terms of laundry, at least.
Laundry highlights.
I go to my like the laundry hut that's out here outside this apartment place. I'd left my clothes in the dryer for a little too long, and I was like, oh crap, someone probably moved all my stuff. So I get in there, and all of my laundry is folded, like out there. And
nice.
I was like, what? Sweet. It's like the nicest laundry room encounter I've ever had. Holy cow. I've been blessed by the laundry gods.
Yeah, and what's nice about there is that there's 3 washers, 3 dryers, so usually there isn't any problem. Because I know back in Shuttles, my old dorm, there's only 1 washer and dryer per floor. So you'd have problems all the time with people just leaving their clothes in there for like a full day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to just take it out, and I didn't fold it. I wasn't that nice. I just threw them on
maybe
the corner.
the fact that there's so much like readily available washing machine technology, like the stress is low. So this person's like, you know what? I ain't even mad. I'm gonna fold
this person. Did you have like underwear and everything too?
Yeah, no, they folded everything except for socks. Obviously, they just kind of like put them in a little pile. But yeah, they made little squares.
Man, there are some nice people at this this upperclassman housing.
Yeah.
Daniel House. Do you have any laundry highlights, Gus?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Bomber.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
But Sterling has one more highlight. He saw a movie.
Oh yeah, I saw Blair Witch 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out. So last week, I think it comes out September 16th. But yeah, I'm just gonna give a little plug for it right now.
Okay.
Go see it. Go see it.
With a period at the end or an exclamation point?
2 exclamation marks.
Why 2? That bothers me.
It's usually 3.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to put 3.
So,
But 2.
so how does it compare to the original?
So what's cool is if you've seen the original, there's a lot of stuff that they obviously took into mind. They're like, oh, people always complain about this in the original. We're going to beat that. And so they're really working hard to improve upon like the kind of the way the original was approached, So I can't really say it's better than the original because rarely is there a time that a remake or a reboot or a sequel or anything has the same impact because it's a similar movie in a way. I'll say that much. But I love it in a totally separate way, and it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like a must see.
It's
for
not
this
found
year.
footage this time, right?
It actually is,
Oh,
which is
okay.
weird, but it like you have to watch it. The way it's presented is a lot different.
Yeah, didn't you say like they use contemporary technology?
Yeah, there's a drone in it, for example,
Oh, okay.
which is
I
it
think
sounds
that's
like
cool.
That's
yeah,
interesting.
I think it's cool.
Huh.
exactly.
Is it a remake or is it a reboot?
So it's not a remake.
Or a spiritual successor.
Or is it a
I
spiritual
think
successor?
okay. Tell me if this is the right term, but I would say reboot. But it's continuing the story from the first one. But it's not a sequel by the title. You know what I mean? Let me turn.
But
this
it is a
over.
sequel because
It's following the story. So
plot wise, it's carrying on. Yeah. So
I
I
mean,
mean,
I would call it a sequel.
yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since what Blair was it? Was there a third
99.
one?
I don't know, but I know there's a Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, I know there's a 2, and that sucked.
Yeah, first Blair Witch Project came out in 1999.
Yeah.
99.
So this one is following the events of the first movie. I haven't seen the second one, so I don't think it has anything to do with that. But this is directly correlated to the events of the first movie.
Oh, so it's like in the same universe.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
like
Oh.
characters are related to the characters in the first one.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it is kind of a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't want to
No,
use
it
the word
is.
sequel just based on the
It's-
title,
it's-
you know?
Well, anyway, yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you got to see it so early,
It's very cool.
and it's cool that it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen Blair Witch Project yet.
You should see that, and then on September 16th, go see Blair Witch.
Do you honestly think Andrew would like Blair Witch?
I think he would. I think so.
Why do you say that?
I don't think you would.
Why?
Because I just don't think I just don't think it's a movie that you'd enjoy. It doesn't seem like
Like horror?
horror in general, but this is a particular subgenre
Yeah, like,
of
if you
horror.
already
It's
don't
found
like
footage.
horror, this one's a little like there's so much about it that is like unappealing to a lot of people.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd still say watch it. I mean, why not?
It's an
You've
essential.
seen it? You like it?
Yeah. I'm not as infatuated with it as Sterling is, but
Yeah,
I do
I'm
like
a
it.
fervent fan.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the meat of the show.
Finally.
Yeah.
I love meat. Give me some meat.
Well, you'll have lots of meat. 3 pieces of meat to be exact.
This is a vegan cast. No meat. Yeah.
Vegan police, or vegetarian police from Scott
Scott Pilgrim is
Yeah,
vegan
they're
police,
gonna be
yeah.
busting in through the windows.
It's milk and eggs, bitch.
But first, I shall explain how this show works. Every week, we recommend to each other a piece of media that the other two have not experienced. We go out, we do those things. Could be a book, could be a movie, could be an album. Come back, and then we talk about it. First thing we're talking about. Do you guys know what it is?
When did you become the host? What is this shit?
Oh,
Yeah, this
here.
is kind of
What just-
bullshit.
Here,
What happened?
Gus, what's the
All
first
right.
review we're doing? You could read my notes.
We actually only have 2 reviews today. Yeah, we're reviewing Pinegrove's Cardinal and Windy City Heat.
Oh no, what happened to her story?
Yeah, we decided not to do that one.
What do you mean we?
Me. I mean
The
me.
council.
Me decided not to do that one.
Why?
So, time's sake. Anyway, into number 1, Pinegrove's 2016 debut. Is this our debut?
No, so they have like a. So we're doing Cardinal,
Yeah.
the album that came out
Cardinal.
this year. They have a collection of other songs.
But
I
this is
think
their
it's
first
called-
album.
This is their first.
No, it's their second
What?
studio
So
album.
go down on there. Are you on the
Damn it.
Bandcamp? Oh, you're on
Oh, no,
Genius.
I'll go-
Okay.
No, I thought it was their second.
So I guess
Whatever.
they call it a studio album, but it's a collection of songs. It's kind of a compilation.
So a
It's about
mixtape.
20 tracks. Yeah, everything so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
so, yeah,
is
let's
that
say
good? Do you like that
21.
too?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's
Okay.
also self-recorded. I think it came out in 2015.
Oh,
yeah,
is
2015.
Cardinal was self-recorded.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know that makes it even more impressive.
No, but I thought they, according to Wikipedia, they have this Meridian.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's 4 years
Whereas-
ago too.
and they have that under. Oh, they've got mixtape 1.
Maybe everything so
Wow.
far is literally everything. The
probably just compiled
EPs
into
and
that.
Meridian compiled into
That
one.
would make
Yeah,
sense.
that would make sense.
I've never heard of Meridian, so that's very exciting for me. But
So according to my notes, this is their second studio album by Pinegrove, indie rock band, released February 12th, 2016. The band is from Montclair, New Jersey, and was formed in 2010 by friends Evan Stevens Hall, who is a singer and songwriter, and Zach Levine, who is on drums. Sterling, you recommended this. How did you find about Pinegrove?
that's a good question. Probably the internet, most likely.
As most things are nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that for now because I actually don't remember any
Sterling's a
specific
frequent
incident.
Redditor, so he's probably,
You're
on Reddit.
probably a Reddit thread. That's also not true.
Did you know him? Know them before Cardinal?
No, I
came
didn't.
out?
That was the first
okay.
thing I listened to from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also knew that when they performed on the CBS morning show, you're like, oh yeah, Pinegrove, I know these guys.
Yeah, it was very, very exciting for me.
And yeah, there's a sentiment of my very basic research about these guys. Some people are like, these guys are going to make it big.
Yeah.
I think you also feel that too.
Oh, yes,
sort
very
of.
strongly.
Gus, based off of you listening to this album, Cardinal, do you think they're going to make it big?
So flashback, roughly 168 hours ago.
I thought you were going to say years ago.
No, 168 hours ago.
How long ago?
Sterling J. Gavinski was like, this. Maybe I'm not quoting you verbatim, but you were like, this is my album of the year so far.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. And I was like, and he had told me previously, like, you probably dig Pinegrove. You probably you might get something out of him. And I was like, yeah, brush it off, because he's like, he likes whatever.
That
real boy.
That pop punk.
He likes The Maine and Good Charlotte. And
yeah, my two favorites.
And so I was just like, yeah, whatever. But after listening to Cardinal, I am happy to say that I really enjoyed the album.
Yes,
Wow.
that's awesome.
Really enjoyed the album, yeah. In fact, it might even be my favorite album I've heard so far this year. I don't know. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
I still might like
That's
Bottomless
awesome.
Pit a little more.
Oh, yeah, that's...
But
That's Death Grips, right?
that's
Yeah.
Death Grips, yeah. I was very happy with
Sounds like you're
Cardinal.
surprised.
I was.
What spoke to you about it?
What spoke to me about it?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, my favorite song is the first one. Like right off the bat, it captured me.
Yeah.
Old Friends.
Old Friends is amazing.
And it just pretty much just goes like right into it, and it has a nice pace and everything like that. The lyrics were good.
Yeah.
Usually in the emo sphere,
Yeah.
I don't really care for lyrics too often, but I would say like the vast majority of the lyrics on this album
Yeah.
are nicely written and
Very
thoughtful.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he does when you mentioned like it being emo, he does talk about stuff like not getting the girl and being lonely and stuff like that, which is sort of typical of that emo sort of thing. But he sort of it's thoughtful in not only like what he's saying but how he's saying it too, because there's a lot of like metaphor and wordplay. Like my favorite song, Aphasia.
I knew it. I was going to guess that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, what's your favorite?
Aphasia.
Oh my god,
That is not
it's my least favorite. Yeah.
Damn.
to me. That's like clear cut. Like that's hands down the best song.
No, that's my least favorite
Wow.
one.
Anyway, and it's a little bit about that loneliness, but also kind of like writer's block too. But instead of like talking about that explicitly, he does have that metaphor of like speaking to this persona of aphasia.
Of aphasia, yeah.
Which very clever. And then you also mentioned how they self-produced and recorded all this stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
Yeah,
It really
Sounds
does,
really
yeah.
good.
it sounds good, but also does have that tinge of lo-fi to it. Like it is like in someone's garage that they recorded it.
So we have a pre-roll or whatever pre-show playlist, and on the playlist they had this like whatever pack the van competition with Into the whatever
Into It Over It.
and so they would like play bits and pieces of each band's music throughout the thing.
Yeah.
And to me it was just like, I mean, not only are their style of music different anyway, like the other guys were more like, I guess, pop punk type deal.
Yeah.
And but it sounded like overproduced and everything. And then next to Pinegrove it's like night and day to me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
It feels authentic,
Right.
that if you go and see them live, this is how they would sound. And I think that's also because of the lead vocals.
Lead vocals are great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
God,
funny
his voice
too.
so much.
I think that they're really funny sometimes.
Yeah, it's like imperfect and unglamorous, but that adds to the whole sort of feeling of authenticity. And
Yes.
you gotta feel like they really enjoy making music, and they're putting
Definitely.
a lot of themselves into it. Sterling, Gus, you questioned about this album cover.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I see that
Yeah.
little link
There's a
right
little
down
blurb
there.
about what it means.
The image is a very abstracted geometrical bird. It's also a letter leaving my mailbox and traveling to the West Coast.
What?
Still don't like it.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I still don't like it. No, I think it's the colors are ugly and everything like that.
That's
But
interesting.
I mean, if it has meaning to them, I mean, I can't hold that
What
against
if
them.
this grayish background was white?
was white, I think it will be a little better, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, reading this, I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of is sort of a central theme through the whole album.
Yeah.
About sort of, if you remember, which I don't think you will, but we were talking about Ween, the White Pepper, with Jay Reed back in the sound studio.
Yeah.
And we were going through the songs, and I made a lot of comparisons to other bands and stuff, and you guys all thought I was crazy. So here's another comparison.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know why I thought of it, but I thought of Dookie.
Interesting.
Yeah, how...
But theme-wise, you mean?
Well, how Dookie was such a hit because it spoke to a lot of a generation that felt like they didn't have a voice. And I felt like in a similar sort of way that sort of the themes and lyrics here are speaking to more millennial sort of thing about, time passing by, not knowing how to use it, and sort of something like that.
I could totally see that, yeah.
Sure. But whereas you say that Dookie was a generational, a landmark album, so to speak. I mean, the verdict is, the jury's still out on whether or not Cardinal
sure, like
will
it's
amount
not
to that.
Yeah, it's nowhere
But
on the same scale, but
it's
sort of the same speaking tinge and audience.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
I see it.
Sure.
Why don't you like Aphasia?
I just think it was the most boring track.
Really?
I thought it. Yeah. I think it stays. Overstays its welcome. I thought it was very plain. I don't hate it. I just think it's like when I'm listening to it, it's my least favorite part. Actually, the Then Again, Aphasia are my two least favorite songs.
Really?
What?
Back to
Wow.
back. Yep.
Jeez.
That was the point in the album. Like, yeah, I'm liking this a lot more.
No, Old Friends immediately. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
hell.
Old Friends
Old
is
Friends
great.
is the
Yeah.
best track in my opinion.
I
For me, it's like Old
love
Friends,
Old
Aphasia,
Friends.
New Friends,
New Friends is my second
Cadmium,
favorite.
Size of the Moon.
And I'd probably
Then
put
again,
Visiting as my third, and then maybe Size of the Moon as my fourth. It's funny, at times throughout this album, I hear parts which are very much emo-y and pop punky, and I like that. I bet Sterling likes that part a lot.
Maybe.
Like voice cracks and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like this one part in Visiting, I'm just like, that sounds totally...
There's a voice crack on Aphasia.
There's a
Yeah.
voice
There's
crack
like a high note.
There's like
Yeah.
a voice crack on practically every track. But
But it's got that cool guitar solo at the end.
Yeah, that's
the guitar solo is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't like. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean,
Okay,
just,
fair, yeah.
it's just. It's
No, but just such a
very
huge contrast to
plain.
my favorite and your least favorite.
Well,
like
Yeah.
that
that's true.
always
There's a big
happens. Practically.
but like exactly the top, exactly the bottom.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Old Friends isn't your least favorite song.
No, it's not.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But Aphasia is mine.
But Aphasia.
Okay.
We're not like complete opposites, is what I'm saying.
just on that track.
Just on that track, yeah.
All right.
All right.
What else you guys want to say about?
Well, fuck.
Cardinal.
What else to
Man,
say?
There's nothing else.
It's real good.
That's it.
Yeah, lyrics are awesome.
Over.
The music is awesome. Honestly, this is musically, I haven't heard anything like this specifically. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of another band that sounds like this. I can hear the influences really clearly, and I love that. But I can't think of another band that sounds like
There
this
are
album.
instances on this album where I feel like it doesn't sound like signature, I guess, of Pinegrove. Like the beginning of Waveform. The beginning of Waveform is so like such a basic like drum beat and everything like that. It's like I wonder how many songs have the same kind of thing at the beginning, because I like the rest of Waveform, but at that particular moment is just an example of a time when I was like, it kind of wanes. I think Pinegrove can improve, but with that being said, Cardinal is still a great album.
Cool.
It'll be interesting to hear if they ever get into a major label situation or like
Yeah.
a big studio. That'll
Like what
be
we talked
an
about with
interesting
Dookie.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, it could be
example.
cool, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're not gonna.
I don't want
follow them anymore.
I don't want their production to be overblown, like so many major label rock bands. Like that's just the way it goes.
They've got a good thing going for them now.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if they do get big, as we may prophesize, hopefully it doesn't affect it negatively.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Now I'm taking over the show. I fired Gus.
What the?
Fired?
From
where
host
does he get that?
positions,
You can't
and
fire
I'm
me.
bringing back.
I don't have
I
the
quit.
authority for that.
I'm bringing back the thing he cut out of the program, which is
Well,
what I recommended.
editor, edit this part out.
That's me.
Oh fuck.
We're talking about the video game Her Story, which came out June 24th, 2015. Written and directed by Sam Barlow, his first independent game. In this game, there's a murder. And the police, they conduct a series of interviews with the victim's wife, Hannah Smith. And you, the player, search through a database of these video clips and try and piece together her story. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, we're going to do full spoilers, so if you haven't played it, you should go. It's only $5. Takes a couple hours to beat. Let's start with Gus.
Hannah innocent.
Gus. Gus, you've never liked any of my video game recommendations.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That is not true at all.
Yeah.
I liked Gone Home, even
Yeah, the
though
first 30
my
minutes.
experience is a bit different. And Device 6, there were a lot of cool things about it. It's mainly Save the Date that I don't like. I didn't like Save the Date.
Okay. Well, let's start with you then.
Okay.
What did you think about Her Story?
Yeah,
Which
so
you finished
I was
today.
I was pretty hesitant to go into this with Andrew's spotty record of indie games.
Of Frog Fractions and
Frog
Hateful Boyfriend.
Fractions, Hateful Boyfriend. The list just goes on and on. That weird vagina game.
Luxuria Suburbia.
Yeah.
What's the one? The Proteus? Yeah.
Proteus. Oh God, I played one of. Yeah. Anyway, I won't get off track. Also, this has like live action FMV,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh God, I've seen products like this before that just end in catastrophe, like Night Trap.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
shit like that. But the actress is actually very good.
Yep.
Also, the story is compelling enough at least. There's some silly things about
There's
it. I
some
think
very silly things in this game.
that kind of like detracts from the experience for me a little. But overall, this was probably my favorite game that you have.
Whoa.
Pitched, yeah, because I really like ID network programs and shit, like 48-hour mysteries and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you're in the midst of one of these type
Yeah.
deals, and it's just so like the story. I mean, with the twin sister thing and
Yeah.
everything like that, it's just so like it's I don't know. I'd almost go as far to like say it's like tongue in cheek, even though I know it's not.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I did enjoy it.
Cool. Did you completely get the story? Because I know Sterling had some.
I actually watched
questions.
after I finished. I watched an explanation at the
Video?
end. Yeah,
Okay.
so now I understand everything.
Sterling, you have some questions that maybe we could fill you in on.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so here, the best way I can do is I'll explain what I understood, and then tell me if I'm wrong or what I'm missing.
Okay.
So you go into this game, and you got these bitches, right? No, I'm just kidding. So you go in, and there's this girl, and you're like, oh, she's wearing her hair different and has a tattoo in some and not in others. Wait a second, they're sisters, I think.
Yeah.
So from what I can tell is that they were raised across the street from one another.
Yeah.
Is that true? They're twins?
So her mother had twins, but one of them was what's
midwife?
The midwife, yeah.
Francis.
Took one of the babies and said that it was like didn't make
Oh,
it.
she
It was
took
dead.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
I
Gus?
I have no clue.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone. Sorry.
So the main character Hannah's mother had twins, but then the midwife took one of the babies, so they grew up separately.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so the mother only thought she had one child.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so they were raised sort of parallel with one another like that.
Like a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the part where I don't even remember if it was Hannah or Ava, right?
Eve.
Eve. There we go. I don't remember which one was talking, but they were talking about like the first time they like came
Saw
in
each other,
contact
yeah.
with each other, and they thought it was like she thought it was a mirror,
Yeah.
but then it wasn't. I was like, oh God, that's what is this sister or something like that?
Mhm.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
I like that was one of those moments where it's like,
Yeah.
that's so lame.
There's a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Sterling.
So-
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, they meet up. They become like really close friends. And they get in the habit of disguising as one another.
Yeah.
And doing stuff like getting in trouble.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And then, okay, I'll have questions after I finish this. I've got a bunch. I did more than 50% of the videos.
Mm-hmm.
And finished it, but.
And you found the coffee one.
And the
Or
coffee
spills
one,
the
which
coffee.
spills the coffee. Yeah, achievement unlocked. But yeah, so. And then one of them, Hannah, I think, is first married to the Simon guy,
Simon,
right?
yeah.
They end up. She has a miscarriage.
Yeah.
They get a divorce.
I don't think they got a divorce.
They get a divorce.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then Simon gets with Eve.
Simon dies.
What? So Simon and Eve get together. Does he know?
That's
Eve?
one of the like really big plot hole sort of things.
Yeah.
where- so Eve is like a singer and she like plays music at like some club or something, and then Simon walks in and is like, so he's like, oh my gosh, you look just like my wife, sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And sort of like falls in love with Eve. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah,
That's weird.
yeah. So has an affair sort of with
Okay.
Eve.
And then
So weird.
Hannah kills Simon, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently, like, Simon gives Hannah a mirror as a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they get in some argument. They get in some argument.
Yeah.
And then Hannah comes back with Eve's wig. And sort
the
of.
blonde wig thing?
Yeah, and, like, is pretending to be Eve. And then Simon gives her a mirror also. And he's like. And Hannah's just like, oh, that's, like, proof that you've been cheating on me with someone else.
Gotcha.
And so she gets mad and throws the mirror, a shard of the mirror, and then kills him. Yeah.
So the whole blonde wig thing, I didn't get that at all.
Oh, that's just
What
Eve.
that has to do
That's
with
just
anything.
that's just.
Does Eve wear a blonde wig regularly?
Yeah, so to like
It's like
just
Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
you know? Sorry, I'm way far away. From
exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so then I
then-
got most of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And yeah, and then Eve gets arrested.
Oh, I didn't get to. what
Well,
happened
Eve
at
gets
the end.
like found out, and she's like, "I want to speak to my lawyer."
Yeah.
and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay,
So,
I saw those clips.
And then Hannah is MIA.
Hannah is MIA. Eve could have been the killer. She could have
Possibly.
framed Hannah. You
That's
know?
another thing I was wondering. There was some of the. I
Also,
thought it was kind of suggested that they may have been. It may have said you were talking to, or it seemed like you were talking to Eve, but it was Hannah because sometimes they were wearing long sleeves or their hair was slightly.
Yeah,
different.
there was like one or two where you couldn't tell, at least right off the bat, which one was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was Eve who was pretending to be Hannah, and then she gets caught in the lie detector.
Oh,
Eve pretending to be Hannah. Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets caught in the lie
Think
detector.
so, yeah.
And that was a kind of a cool thing about the game was like, so I think Eve has a tattoo.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
she has a tattoo. Hannah had like a black eye,
A bruise.
on her
Yeah.
on her cheek, and at one point, Eve, I guess pretending to be Hannah, like touches the wrong cheek.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
love like
that.
small stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because you could sort of explain it a little bit like, oh, the tattoo is like, oh, she has long sleeves, so I can't see it then.
Yeah.
Or the bruise thing is like, oh, well, these interviews were at different dates, so maybe it's like a different time. Stuff like that. But there are like subtle hints thrown in like that. They're like, they might not be the same person.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess you never get to know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. What do you guys think about sort of the actual playing, like using the database? Because I think that's the coolest part is sort of the sense of discovery.
Yeah.
Of-
It feels like you're kind of doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creating your own like mental threads about
Yes.
what to find.
I greatly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Part of like the whole ID, like the 48-hour mystery thing,
Mhm.
connecting the dots.
Yeah.
and everything.
Did you use them
Felt
tags?
cool. No.
No.
I started using them, but I got into such a habit of like just watching the next video that I was like, I can't write on these anymore. It took too long.
Yeah.
I didn't
Um,
really need them at the end, anyways.
Yeah. Gus mentioned performance by the lead actress. Have her name. I think it's Viva Seifert. Yeah, her performance is great. Because
It's convincing enough.
It
I think.
feels like it is on one of those like shows. It feels like it is like
Yeah.
an actual interview.
Yeah.
I thought so at least.
I thought it was. I was like convinced enough to play the game, but there was some things that she said, or like playing the song and all the some scenes or
Playing the
moments,
song.
or she went to vomit at one part because
Mhm.
she's pregnant, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eve
I
gets
was like,
knocked up.
I was like, nice try, actress name
Nice
here. Like,
try. We know you're not pregnant.
you're not really throwing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was good enough that I was totally invested in the game the entire time. Like,
and the whole thing hinges on her performance. So.
Oh yeah, like she's the only thing essentially.
I think the whole thing is though, like the Hannah and Eve are kind of like they're kind of lying and everything like that.
Yeah,
so
true.
the parts where her act is slipping, it kind of works because
maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, I mean I don't know about that. The whole vomiting thing, I doubt.
Yeah,
But,
she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up."
But like going back and watching some of the clips for a second time, like I can tell sort of there is some nuance between when she's Hannah and when she's Eve. Because when I first started playing, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the same person. But then sort of those clues are dropped in, and I could kind of tell now, which is which. Who's who? Yeah. Story, it gets pretty silly sometimes,
silly.
And when you break it down, it is sort of simple. It kind of reminded me of Memento, how when you think of the story Memento, it's very, very simple, but it's how it's presented, with the whole flashbacks and out of order thing that makes it compelling. And in a similar way, it's in her story.
Did you think her story had a satisfying ending? Because I did not.
Okay, that's one. So I'm going to lay some problems that became very apparent to me going through a second time. That frame story, playing as the daughter Sarah, was completely unnecessary.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole reflection thing. Every once in a while, you see a reflection, and for the first time, I got freaked out. I'm like,
really?
What the heck is this? It's really scary. It's scary.
Oh my god, that's funny.
And then a couple times, police sirens go off in the reflection, and that I don't think that, because I thought for a second she's surrounded. There are cops in the around the building surrounding her.
For some
but
reason,
I don't think
I
it is.
thought I was like a police officer at first. I was like, oh, I'm in the station, working on this case or whatever.
Apparently, you're just some friend let you in to access the computer or something. It's definitely underdeveloped, and it adds to this general sort of category of problems I have, or these sort of indie tropes. Which, some of the silly story elements that we talked about kind of fall into that. Like the heavy-handed symbolism, with the mirrors,
fairy tales,
the palindrome names, like Hannah, Eve.
She didn't even need to say that.
Yeah, the Rapunzel story. I'm like, this is way too much.
It's like a real-life fairy tale, mate.
The frame story, not good. And the obligatory acoustic song on the guitar.
The 2-part acoustic song.
That might have been the worst part of the game.
Because you felt it felt like some indie game.
The one thing I did like about that is that she did the first one. I was like, oh, that took forever. That was 3 minutes, and then I later came across the second one in a separate search, and as that one came up, she's like, okay, I'll do the rest of the song, and I was like, shit.
I'll do the rest.
So that part was pretty exciting for me when I came across that. I love the ones where you've part of the same scene, but you find them separately. So that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah. Did you ever on long clips just scrub through the tracking thing and just read the transcript at the bottom?
Eventually, after a while.
Some of the longer clips.
Yeah.
Some of them 15-second clips are really nice.
See, this game
to get in and out.
It's funny because this game, as well as Reigns, but in a less intense way than this one does, shared that kind of same save the date feeling. I'm going to call it that for now, the save the date effect. In that not only do you kind of choose when the game ends, as far as I can tell, other than actually 100%ing it, you get to this middle section, just like in Reigns, where it drags on a little bit, and you're like, okay, what am I going to search now? And that I have such a problem with that, especially when it comes to a part where you don't even really finish the game, or you can choose when to stop, and then your game experience is done. I don't know. It goes along with that unsatisfying ending thing, but that was just one small portion of the whole thing. So that doesn't mar my image of the game or anything too much.
Because overall, it's cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
The whole idea, concept.
Yeah.
And I think Sam Barlow says he's working on a sequel that's not related to the story at all, but it's the same similar format sort of thing, sort of procedural watching videos.
Does that excite you? Because I feel like,
I mean, if the story's good, it's all about the story and the performance.
Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I'm down to do more database searching, more Googling, pretty much.
Yeah.
Googling.
But the big final question to have for you guys.
Yes.
Is this a video game?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's people who are like, oh, this doesn't count as a video game because
Of
you
course,
just sit
yeah,
there
there's
and watch
always
the
those people.
videos.
To me, anything. I mean, a video game is simply your own actions and inputs affect an outcome in the what you're playing, basically. And so it doesn't matter if it's not like you're shooting guys and getting power ups and shit.
Getting the high score.
Yeah. It's whatever. So yeah.
And even there's even like a freaking achievement feature in it. So it's like it's obviously a game. You're playing, you are playing.
Cool. I'm glad you're all on my side.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be a bigger debate.
No.
Let me throw this out there. Chess.
What?
Is it a video game?
Yeah.
Is chess a video game?
Yeah.
Chess
on
a
the
computer video
or
game?
a PS1? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a video game.
Cool.
Do you not think it is?
No, I just had that written down. I wanted to say it. So.
Oh.
All right, moving on
Such a card.
to our final talking point, which will be many talking
the
points.
action movie Windy City Heat.
Action movie. Oh, not the documentary. The
actual movie
film inside
Windy
this film.
City Heat.
Windy City Heat. Gus recommended this. It is a made-for-TV movie.
Yes.
First aired on Comedy Central on October 12th, 2003. Directed by comedian Bobcat Goldthwait. Pretty much the whole film is a giant practical joke on a very special snowflake, Perry Caravello, who dreams of being a superstar and famous actor. He's given the opportunity to star in a film called Windy City Heat, starring as the sports private eye, Stone Fury, right? Yeah.
Yes. Stone Fury.
But it's not really a movie. It's the entire... Everybody making the film, everyone involved in the production is just sort of doing this to exploit...
They're in on a joke.
Yeah,
on Perry.
They're exploiting his personality. Everyone's in on it except Perry. Very interesting concept. And yeah, it's made clear right off the bat that this is like a larger joke. Even at the beginning, it says like, yeah, everyone's in on a joke except Perry. Even then, there's some things in there that are just so ridiculous that if you didn't know that, you'd know that something's weird going on. Like some of the names of all the characters.
Yeah.
Like Roman Polanski.
So many. Yeah.
Famous
Roman
casting
Polanski.
director,
Yeah.
Roman Polanski.
Charleston Heston.
Sacco and Vanzetti. Hiroshima.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Yeah.
And some Japanese guy comes up. Yeah, a lot of the supporting cast. There's the characters straight out of like a Grand Theft Auto game. You got like porn stars, a gay costume person, and you can't forget the two of Perry's friends, Don Barris and
his
Mole.
co-stars.
Yeah, who according to the film have been playing pranks on Perry for like over a
years,
decade.
Yeah,
like 11 years.
Yeah.
It said.
And it's called the Perry Project. This whole practical joke thing surrounding Perry, and this is just one huge element of it.
This is the crown.
Yeah, crown jewel. And yeah, through the course of the production, they put Perry through some crazy situations, like throwing him in a dumpster full of poop, making him eat a blender of like eggs, soda, beer, Chinese food multiple times, wearing a thong, not all at once, but
Not all at once.
So the two big questions you got for this film: one, is this okay to do this to Perry? But the bigger question is because that is under the assumption that
Perry doesn't.
Perry doesn't know that he's not actually acting.
Yeah.
And that is the bigger question. But
That is a bigger question.
Sterling, let's start with you. Windy
Yeah.
City Heat. Sort of your
Okay.
thoughts, feelings.
In general, okay. It was very funny. That's one thing I can comfortably say. But I'm not so much at a moral dilemma as I thought it would be.
Mhm.
I thought I was going to be a little more troubled by it, like the fact that they're like pranking him or whatever. And I think that's because I don't believe it. Like I legitimately do, and that's the second. It goes to that second question. As I just don't know how it's possible.
So you think
that-
Perry's acting the whole time?
I think Perry's acting to some extent. Yeah.
Which
And
is
of course, when you have cameras around you, you're going to act up a little more. Keeping that in mind, but I don't know if I believe it. I don't know.
That's the mindset I had, because you talking about how, because Sterling saw it before me and Gus has already seen it, so talking about how it's all mockumentary within documentary thing. I was going in with the mindset I'm going to try and figure out if it's real or not.
Yeah.
So yes, it's very funny, but I think my enjoyment was kind of stifled because the whole time I was just trying to like find details, like, oh, they messed up here. It's got to be fake,
And when I originally watched this earlier this year, I did the exact same thing. After I watched it, I immediately like started researching, like, is this guy the real deal? And
which is what we did, you know. And I did find a couple things that are a little suspect. And we're gonna try something new. I got this set up where we could try and play some video and audio, and hopefully it gets recorded. But okay, if you watch this from the film, about 18 minutes in, they show you some posters with actors who auditioned but didn't make it, and there's X's on their face. But then there's a sort of wider shot, and if you look at the posters, there's no X's. All right, watch it.
Turkey? No.
All right, you got all these famous actors: Brad Pitt, Schwarzenegger, and X's on their face.
Are these the guys that auditioned? There he is. That's the star. All right, Scaremaster.
And then no X's on the face.
However, with that, I would just easily say that shot where they're just
wait, don't get off shot. Look really closely on Schwarzenegger right there. There's an X there.
What?
It's just really faded. Do you see that?
Oh. Well, there's definitely not an X on that guy.
That Cardinal?
Yeah, there is. I can see it.
Not.
Dude, yeah, there is. I can see it now. But even if there wasn't,
I don't see it.
That shot where the X's were on there, it was just like a panning shot. They could have just done that afterwards.
Yeah, they could have done that separately.
All right, I'll retort to that. Which just is in a similar vein. Towards the end of the film.
Keep it coming.
Yeah. When they're driving to the premiere.
No, All right. It's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Where? It was right back there. On the right? On the left. God damn it.
The camera's in the car. How did they get this shot of outside the limo?
Again.
Oh, they had someone planted there because if it, assuming it is all contrived except for Perry, they had the Indian girls who were in the thing dancing. That was all planned beforehand, obviously. So they had they're like, oh, we know he's going to drive by this part. Let's get a shot.
Again, they could just do a shot at a different point in time.
There's a problem with that. The fact that if you go, okay, they just did it later and they added stuff in, then that makes everything suspect. Like, oh, then they could have
maybe. I mean, true, sure. But so I watched something. I couldn't find it this time, so it might have been taken off of YouTube. But with the DVD release of this movie, they had a Perry commentary track.
I read about this on Wikipedia.
And so I watched it with his commentary. And so just from what I can gather out of that, and from what I read, is that he knows that it was not real, the movie. But he still
thinks he's like a superstar.
He kind of still does.
Yeah.
The part in the movie where he gets a what was it? A trophy for by the
president of show business.
President of show business. When he gets a trophy from the president of show business, he said in the commentary track that every time I see this, it makes me tear up. Yeah. And it's just like, but it's fake. So how does it do that? Also, but one thing about the commentary track, Bart, his little helper in the movie, who keeps fucking awesome up and everything. During the commentary track, he keeps coming back in, doing the same thing. Yeah, it's kind of funny that way. But so it is very puzzling. Is Perry Caravello a real human being?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
whole time watching the movie, I'm like, he's in on the joke and he's acting. Yeah. And even right after watching it, I thought that, and it reminded me. I mentioned this Sterling, but of Andy Kaufman, who was always on. He was always in character, in interviews, on talk shows, everything. He's completely committed, but there is sort of that level where we do know that he was performing, even though and I showed Sterling some clips, and there's some similarity to sort of how he behaves, in front of the camera. That's like, maybe if he could do it, maybe Perry could do that too. But after doing some research, and I showed you some of the clips that I saw, yeah, he could actually be the real deal.
I think he is too. Bobcat Goldthwait has talked about doing a sequel, and this movie's been out for 13 years. And so how could that not get unearthed after 13 years?
Well, I don't know. Here, wait. Pull up the Wikipedia page real quick. I saw the thing about the sequel. Apparently, they attempted to kickstart it last year, and it just flunked.
I'm not surprised.
Miserably.
I didn't even hear about this movie.
Yeah,
until
attempted
this
to
year.
raise $500,000, only raised 3.2% of that. That sucks.
Yeah.
But wait, here, Andrew, scroll up a little bit.
Didn't even hear.
Okay, Aftermath. Right here, he talks about the commentary. On Caravello's commentary track for the DVD, he acknowledges that he has since realized the sequences were set up as a prank, blah, blah, blah.
He says he read about it online.
Yeah.
And that he knows Barris and Barbieri were intentionally conniving to infuriate him. Yet he continues to speak of the film and his acting abilities with the same gusto,
See,
notably.
This is
blah,
my
blah,
thing
blah, blah,
about
blah.
that. He can do that all he wants, but like you're saying about Andy, is that Perry could be in character on the commentary too. Like, why would they have his assistant?
Andy
come
Kaufman
in?
was a legitimate paid comedian. It'd be amazing if Perry Caravello, who is no one, who doesn't make money off of this.
Is he a no one?
That's the question. Is that could be the point of the whole thing.
How they know him is he was around the comedy scene and stuff.
That's what
Yeah.
they tell you.
That's what they tell you. But my point now, you're getting to conspiracy theory
Yeah,
thing,
man.
Yeah.
type territory.
Well, you have to with how it's set up.
Yeah.
Think about how long this movie's been out.
Yeah.
How would no one?
Yeah, I know,
Here's a video of the real Perry, and he's just eating a bagel, being like,
yeah.
whatever, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Yeah, so I do think Perry is a real human being.
Yeah.
I think he is. I mean, he might have something wrong with him,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Okay.
I think it's real.
So let's go all under the assumption that he is legitimate and he's not acting and it's all big prank on him. Then we go back to the first question. Is it sort of ethical?
Is it ethical?
Because can you imagine he thinks his two best friends are Barris and Mole
And they're not even.
and they're not even his
friends,
real
yeah.
friends? That's kind of messed up.
Well, he doesn't like them. He
But
he makes that very clear. He does not like Barris, especially.
It's like a love-hate relationship thing,
Yeah.
Like,
they're-
yeah, he
they're
gets on his
buddies.
nerves all the time.
They're the
but-
big three.
Yeah, exactly.
Big three.
I mean, exactly. So if it is real, is it an ethical thing to do?
Yeah, his
and
entire life has been hijacked by a community of comedians.
and
for
it
their own
probably
amusement.
is not ethical.
Okay.
But he's so he's obviously not that affected by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't. Yeah. And also, he's not exactly the most likable human being
Oh yeah, we forgot
to
to mention
ever.
that. Yeah, he's homophobic.
He's homophobic.
He's misanthropic.
He's
Yeah.
loud.
He's loud.
He's loud.
He yells like Sam
obnoxious.
Kinison. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in that case, you don't really feel sorry for him at a lot of points. But so the ceremony where he gets the award,
Yeah.
that at that point it's just oh my god, it was like watching it was like watching King of Comedy or fucking something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And it's just oh my god.
It's something Sterling and I talked about. How, what if you're actually really dumb, and
Me?
everyone, okay, yes. Imagine you're really dumb, but everyone knows that, and so just to be nice, we treat you.
Yeah, but
As
you're
if-
the
as if
only
I'm- as
person
if
who
I'm
doesn't
equal.
know that.
So when you make a joke, it's actually really stupid, but we
Yeah.
laugh because
Great.
to make you feel
Now
better.
I'm gonna get paranoid.
Exactly. So
Why'd you laugh, Stern?
that's really messed up. It's messed up, but that's sort of what's happening here.
Yeah.
His entire his entire life, pretty much everything he knows is fake.
See, and that's something that's really interesting to me because it's in reality TV show territory,
Yeah.
But especially with someone like Jimmy Kimmel, his show is one of the most just staged, scripted late night TV shows there is. There's no way that he didn't have his hand in the Perry pot the whole time. It's this is what's gonna happen. He's met Perry many times.
He produced the movie.
No, yeah.
Exactly. So
there's
this
no-
is not real. That is, there's no way
Wait,
What?
Are you saying
What
there's
it-
no way that Perry is real?
that Perry is actually not aware of any
Man,
of this. to this day.
hard evidence given by Sterling
What?
Gavinski right there. What? Yeah, he had a hand in it. How does that make it not real?
Because-
he had a hand in it.
Okay,
That doesn't
do you
make any
think
sense.
If it was actually an ethical issue, if it was ethically awful, which it in theory is.
Assuming that Perry is legitimate. And
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
Yeah.
so-
joke.
Okay.
Do you think all of these people, including major television networks, would be cool with that?
Comedy Central. Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, I do. Yeah, and it was in 2003. as society progresses, it gets more and more, I guess, both inclusive as well as more tolerant of different people and intolerant of intolerance of different people.
Yep.
And this was a point that was 13 years ago. And so this is just a weirdo dude who's kind of an asshole, or at least a jackass. And he's just a fool. And so, yeah, I totally think Comedy Central would absolutely be A-okay with that.
Yep.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah. That's just me.
I think I would need to see like just supplementary like videos, like the stuff before. I think was the most important stuff.
Yeah.
Because eventually, probably.
And
To
I think
this
there, I
day,
think there are videos of like
the project or whatever.
where they're like pulling pranks on him in the years before the movie.
Because doesn't it say they're like doing a podcast now or something like that, or
The Big Three podcast.
Big Three
I don't think
podcast.
it stopped, but
okay.
it did go on for like a few years or something. And they still all in character. Everyone around Perry, Barris and Mole, and I think even like the Ugri, the porn guru or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently he made an appearance and they argued also. Like everyone's still in character around them. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have an interest in something like that at that
podcast?
point. Yeah, at that point it's just like
it's sadistic almost,
carrying it on, just keeping it going. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Don Barris and co. really enjoy Perry's company,
Yeah.
But or maybe Perry is in on it, and he's just a buddy of theirs, and they're just going along with it.
But it's so sad if he is the real deal.
It is quite sad, Andrew.
We need to save Perry. Like even imagine
Perry
like you
campaign.
go take a flight, go out to his house, sit down with him one-on-one, try to explain everything and show him everything.
He probably
he's
still
knowing what we've seen of him. If he's exactly like we see him, he wouldn't get it. Which is even sadder because like he's like so encased in this box of lies that he can't see. It's like the whole Plato cave thing. He's in the cave. And he's chained down. He can't see the light.
It's crazy. He's even seen this, and he thinks he's a star.
That's what I'm saying.
He also knows that Don Barris and Mole were fucking with him and stuff like that, and he would still do like a podcast
just for the movie.
Yeah.
He thinks he still think it's their like irritable buddies.
Oh God.
It's so sad.
Yeah, that is.
It's a little sad.
Again, assuming
It makes you want to think that he's
hope.
Yeah,
There's hope.
he's just a
He's
character.
a genius.
He's the greatest fucking character actor of all fucking time.
Perry Caravello.
Perry
Or
Caravello.
the greatest tragic figure.
The greatest
Maybe.
AC/DC frontman too.
Well, there's one thing we can all agree on: Fall Out Boy.
What?
The song.
Oh,
in
at the
credits.
end. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't bring that up. Yeah.
Oh, what? Wait, what was the song at the end?
Of all the gin joints in the world, which
Yeah.
is a quote from a movie you like, isn't it?
Which is what they refer to in the
movie.
as a joke. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Well, maybe we'll play it after we're done here.
Nah, it's okay.
All right.
All right.
Time for some recommendations.
For mine, can you pull up Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh, mine too.
Which is perfect because, gosh, you're actually going first.
Okay, cool.
Recommending. This is something you wanted to recommend for a while. You've been mentioning this.
Yes, this is one of my favorite albums ever. This is called Pink Flag. It is by English post-punk outfit Wire. Released in 1977, which really, it was right around the time punk started getting at least going. So it's weird how early post-punk started. But this is one of like the most unique albums I think I've ever listened to. It's short. It's only nearly 36 minutes, but there's 21 songs, all super short. All really like weird topics and everything like that. Interesting song structures. It's just it really I guess it really interested me just by how unorthodox it was. And I listened to it really around a time when I was starting to like diversify my musical tastes. And so this was really one of the albums that got me into punk rock. So
Cool.
yeah, really like this. Although I'll be honest, I don't think you guys are gonna like it.
What?
Maybe not, but I like putting forth wiggity whack media. So
Cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
Sterling.
Hello. Yes.
Oh
Hey,
yes.
Sterling. This is a book.
Another graphic.
Yeah, it's called Unlikely by Jeffrey Brown. It's just essentially it's kind of like a memoir of a chunk of his life about just a bunch of awkward sex stories. It's so good. It's hilarious and really, really sad also.
I can get it on Kindle.
Oh yeah, if you want to do that, you can. I don't think
Sweet.
it's at Fondren, so I'm probably going to go
Yeah,
home
not at
and
the
get
library.
it for you guys. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably get it on Kindle.
$5 on Kindle. Yeah, Unlikely.
It's a deal.
Book 2
Yeah.
or 3 in the Girlfriend trilogy series.
Whoa.
Is this news to Sterling?
Yeah, no, I haven't read either Clumsy or
What?
AEIOU.
It's the second one, huh? Maybe it's not like a.
I don't think they have
overarching
any.
plot.
Yeah, most of his stuff is autobiographical, so I think it's just different chunks in his life. But yeah, looking good in that
Look at
picture.
that mug.
Jeffrey.
Oh, he's only 25.
Wow.
Young dude. Oh wait, moved to Chicago in 2000.
Oh, so he's an old dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's fucking.
He's 40.
He's on his deathbed at this point.
All right. I'm recommending a movie.
Oh yeah, finally. Wow, what a weird assortment. Yeah.
That's gonna be a good episode.
What everyone has been asking for. Winnie the Pooh.
Woo!
The animated film that came out
In 2011.
2011, yeah. I have a scattershot history with Winnie the Pooh growing up. Yeah, read a little bit of the books, a little bit of the show, but I can't pick out exact things about it. But when this movie came out, I heard some great things about it. I went and watched it, and I loved it. It's really short. It's 70 some minutes, 73. And yeah, when they released it in theaters, they actually had to show a short film before it to even get in theaters to make it sort of padded out to be feature length. But it's 73 minutes of perfection. It's nice. It's a nice relief from all the superhero, super violent, dramatic stuff. It's very pure. It's very innocent, lighthearted, and just very delightful and colorful to watch. So,
Cool.
yeah. Yes, it is a very interesting trio we got for 33.
Yeah.
33.
The big
The
three.
big three.
Three. Winnie the Pooh, Wire, and Virginity, or
Virginity.
Loss of Virginity.
The book.
The book.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the show.
Sweet.
What you can do now is, Gus, you could take over host duties.
Okay, this is episode 33. 32. If you've listened, you know where to go. You know what to do. Plugs, Facebook, Twitter, like us, follow us, whatever. Ask us questions. Leave us a review on iTunes if you're a nerd.
There's only one.
There's only one, and it's by someone in this room, which is weird.
If they want to email us, how can they do that?
Email us. Listen to one of the former episodes where we give out the email, and you can email us at wheelhousecast@gmail.com.
Nice. We should make a Wheelhouse Cast at yahoo.com.
We should.
Just to confuse people.
Just to confuse people. And I guess did I miss anything, Andrew? Is that all?
You missed a couple things, but I'm not the host.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, see you guys at a later date.
In exactly a week.
In 168 hours.
Exactly.
After 9/11.
It will be after
Wait.
the 15th anniversary of 9/11.
Oh wow.
Dang, I don't think. Yeah, we're not
We
recording.
should do something
on 9/11.
special.
We're not recording on 9/11. We
thank
missed it
God.
by a day.
We gotta pour some out.
Should we post a video on our Wheelhouse page that we made?
Oh no. No.
Nope.
All right.
Stop recording now.
Goodbye.